Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC show. I'm your host, Paul Krieger, and I am joined at this table. As always, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to really screw with Panda right now. Our producer back in the Nook. He should be mentioned first because he makes all of this magic happen.
Hello, everyone.
John Sakari, a.k.a. Big Fat Panda. My lovely wife, Amy Krieger, loan origination manager of loan origination. I'll get it right one of these days at Monera Financial. And then the senior sales associate, also brand ambassador, I think your title says. But you want to be the East Coast brand ambassador for Vero Beach. Derek DeBoer.
Hey now.
Over at DVC Resale Market. If we're a little bit goofy, we apologize. We've got 4 shows that we've been filming today. We also just, if you missed our impromptu episode that we did a couple weeks ago, or whenever this goes up, I have no idea, that we did on the new information that's coming out on the Disneyland DVC Tower. All of that was exciting, so we just broke in with all of that breaking news. So our heads and our brains are a little bit mush and rambling, but we're not going to talk about the Disneyland
More
DVC
mush than normal.
More mush than
People
normal.
are excited for this show now.
I always, inside my head, I always like to, we always go crazy right at the beginning of these shows anymore. Inside my brain, I like to think of it as the hamster on the wheel. But if you've ever had a hamster, you know that sometimes if you have 2 of them, one of them somehow gets on the opposite side of the wheel and is going like upside down and backwards. That's the inside of my brain right now. And if Panda finds a graphic or an image of that, he will definitely insert that into this section of the show. But today we are here. We're going to do another one of our... I can't even... I mean, should I stop for a second? Take a breath?
It feels really weird that Jody had to leave, and now we're all on the same side of the table.
We miss you, Jody.
Like, it's like the Last Supper over here.
We're all staring over there.
Into the blank unknown.
Nobody
Into
over
the
there.
unknown. All right.
My spirit is here.
Jody, we miss you, and we're sorry you couldn't stay for the other shows, but we loved the ones that we got to do together. We are going to talk about one of our resort spotlights. So if you've missed any of our resort spotlight series, I think this is going to be like number 4 in the series, but we're focusing on each specific Disney Vacation Club property, sharing some things we love about it, some things we hate about it. We're going to get to one of those later today. But we are talking Beach Club Villas this week. Disney's Beach Club Villas, which is one of the more original properties, Disney Vacation Club properties. It is a 2042 resort, which if you missed our 2042 episode, we talked about what that means. But we're going to talk about all of the ins and outs of Beach Club, all of the things that we love and are excited for about that resort. Before we get started, if you love our content, please show some love for our sponsors over at the World of DVC, DVC Resale Market. If you're looking to buy a Disney Vacation Club resale contract, great time to buy. Prices are low. You know, if you want to get in right now at a great rate, lock in your future vacations, great time for that. Contact Jody or Derek, and they will be able to help you with that. If you're looking to sell your Disney Vacation Club contract right now, they can also help you with that. To help finance that purchase, Monera Financial, some amazing rates over there. Amy and her team in the loan origination department are going to be able to help with that. And then DVC Rental Store, where I actually work with the World of DVC, we are able to help try before you buy. So if you're a guest looking to go on a Disney vacation, we can save you up to 65% off the Disney rack rate. And then also, if you're a member looking to rent out your points, we can assist with that as well. So show some love, please, for our sponsors. I've started just slurring my speech at this point.
At least you didn't say that word that you tried to say like 37 times today.
Yeah.
What was that word again? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't
Yeah,
even,
see, good.
I'm glad I don't remember. Yeah.
On to the Beach Club.
On to the Beach Club. Derek? Your show now.
Just to take over?
So yeah, Beach Club Villas, definitely one of the resorts that Amy and I had our eye on from the start of us sort of getting into DVC. We went through an epic debate, which most of you on DVC Fan followed when we were looking at adding on. It was we called it the Beach Club or Boardwalk Challenge, because I think both of those resorts are always thought in the same realm. Mm-hmm. If someone's looking to add on in that Epcot resort area, people love both of those properties. But Beach Club is extremely small Disney Vacation Club property, the smallest property at Walt Disney World, I do believe.
It used to be the Grand.
Used to be the Grand
Used to be the
Floridian.
Grand, but then they opened up the Tower Studios, so now it's
a little.
it's the Beach Club.
Now it's the Beach Club. So very small, always incredibly difficult to get into, whether you're an owner or not. Really, 7 to 11 month booking window. You definitely need that. So if you really love the Beach Club and the property there, you're going to want to be an owner there and get that 7 to 11 month booking window. 0 to 7 month booking, it's extremely hard. You've got to really be stocking the system to get in there in that time frame because it's so popular. And I think that's probably where we start with Beach Club, is where it is so popular, and that is Stormalong Bay. I think is you can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but most people that are looking at Beach Club, they want it because of Stormalong Bay is like the water park, the premier water park. Could be the premier water park at Disney World, truthfully. But the premier water park that you don't have to pay a ticket to get into.
Oh, yeah. I mean, without a doubt, for all the guests that I've talked to over a lot of years, when it comes to those folks that have been, and there's folks that I've always said that maybe there's even two camps of people that know the Crescent Lake Resort area. They know it. They love the Beach Club, the boardwalk, that whole area. But then there's still a ton of people out there that have never even been there. That you talk to them and they're like, no, where is that again? So wait, you can get there by going over a bridge right between the UK and France. Oh, I didn't even know it was there. Then when they discover it, and they discover that literally it's almost a whole separate world with the boardwalk and the Beach Club, and then throw in the Swan and the Dolphin hotels over there and all the dining and all the restaurants and everything else. That's what makes the Beach Club so hard to get into. And I say this just because a lot of people, when they're vacation club members, they buy it and they go, I love my home resort. I'm only going to stay at my home resort. Then, of course, they try other ones because that's one of the best parts about it. And a lot of members will then somehow try, or maybe they luck out and get into, say, the boardwalk, or really luck out at that 7 month or less window and get into the Beach Club. Then they go, oh my God, like I love this resort. I love the Beach Club, but man, we have tried to get in here for the last few years and can never get in at 7 months out. So that's where people that love that resort and want to be able to do it will add on points specifically to be able to get into the Beach Club, because one of the biggest things, like Paul said, is Stormalong Bay. I mean, that place is amazing. If you've never been inside Stormalong Bay, it's even cool to look at it from the outside of the gate, because again, you can't just walk around Stormalong Bay. They've got, towers up and barbed wire. You got to be staying there to be able to get into Stormalong Bay. It's got an amazing, kind of a tiny little lazy river, right, that you can kind of float around. The pool has sand on the bottom of it. The pool's got sand. It's got one of the coolest water slides, that big pirate ship that's there, and the big thing that comes down. Oh,
the flying jib is,
I believe it, yeah.
The flying jib.
Is it really? Is that what it's called?
It is called like the flying gib or the flying jib or something like that. It does have a name.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know he flew.
But it's a great water slide, and again, it's just one of those places that once people kind of experience Stormalong Bay, right, and realize and go, my God, we could have. It's not just a Disney pool. It's not. It is like a little water park in and of itself. It gets very, very crowded. It gets very, very popular. But if you have a great day on Stormalong Bay, to me, can rival anything at anywhere else at any Disney Vacation Club resort, which always pains me because they're building all these new resorts, but none of the new pools rival anything close to Stormalong Bay. So I'm like, if you're starting at scratch, make like a new Stormalong Bay, like part 2. Because this one, it literally, once you do it once, you'll love it.
That was my birthday getaway last year was Beach Club. And we stayed at the Beach Club Resort and we hung out at Stormalong Bay one afternoon. And it was just a wonderful, relaxing stay. And, the lazy river that they have there, you could just sort of just float around and just go in circles for hours.
But we don't want people to think truly I went and it really wasn't like a water park. I mean, Typhoon Lagoon is way bigger. Of course it is. But it's got, what other pool has like a little lazy river that you just kind of get in an inner tube. And again, the sand bottom on the pool, to me, that's like one of the coolest things in the world. Hurricane Hannah's is right there. So a great place to get lunch and a great place to get drink. It's got that upper deck too that you can go to
Yeah,
and sit
we hung
up
out
top.
up there. Yep.
It's quiet.
Yep.
Not a lot of people go up to that upper deck area. So yeah, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies there.
Getting back to the resort itself, let's dig into the rooms a little bit. One thing that I think is important for people that are considering Beach Club to understand is that Beach Club does not have any grand villas. So if you're staying at Beach Club, you're going to be exclusive to those deluxe studio, 1-bedroom, or 2-bedroom villas. And those rooms are currently going through a nice soft goods refurbishment at the moment, which means new textiles, things like that. They are also putting in those Murphy-style pull-down beds in all of the rooms. And based off the early look, it looks great.
They look pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I love Beach Club. That was originally where I wanted to purchase, and then we settled on Boardwalk, which I also love. But one of the things about Beach Club and the rooms are nice. One of the things I really love is how it reminds me of, like, it's like a New England style. We used to go, I know New Jersey's not really part of New England, but we used to go to Cape May, New Jersey a lot when I was, Paul and I were in college. And there's a lot of like little nods to Cape May, New Jersey. So obviously we've got Cape May Cafe. If you're in the villas and you go back around like where like the public restrooms are in the villas building, there's a really cool like artwork. It's like a map of Cape May, New Jersey with different little like places. Like if you know that area, you would recognize some of those landmarks and stuff. But I just love the architecture of that building, of the whole Beach Club building. I love the color palette. When you walk into that lobby, the smell is amazing. I know
just that lobby is so iconic to me because you walk in through the front, but you see the view out the back. Like, the view out the back of the Beach Club and the Yacht Club with, seeing the boardwalk across the water and the long walkway and the wooden pier out there. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's sort of go to the other side of the, since you're talking smells in the lobby.
That does not
segue.
bother me.
Hold on, Cape May just called.
So wait, so before you say that, the actual lobby smell at Beach Club that they like pipe in is like that aloe clover type smell. It's very similar to like what they use at Grand Floridian. But I know that Paul is talking about Cape May Cafe. But since they stopped doing the
Unlimited
steamed crab legs. I really don't think that the smell is that you can't really smell it that much anymore. Although I used to like it because it reminded me of the ocean.
It's kind of been baked into that villa for the past 20 years. So I'm not quite sure how many layers of paint they're going to need to go through to really get rid of it. But yes, to your point, also that smell, I know Magic Candle Company has a candle and air fresheners and stuff like that do replicate that smell that is at Beach Club. So
it's very close.
Yeah, great
It's
opportunity.
solidified clam chowder.
They're going to sell no candles now, thanks to that.
No, they are great candles.
Yeah. But yeah, so that smell is great. But Cape May Cafe, smell aside, we used to enjoy it. We did enjoy it back when it was sort of the unlimited crab legs and stuff like that. That went away with the pandemic. And my understanding is that they wanted to find a way to make it go away for a long time because it was not necessarily profitable for them. So now you're paying upwards of $20, $30 or more to get like a crab leg cluster as an add-on to the buffet or to get a whole Maine lobster as an add-on to your buffet purchase there.
Yeah, I will say the buffet isn't as good as it used to be, but remember when we did that? We did the lobster add-on one time, and it actually was pretty good. So it just depends on if you're wanting to pay that. I think the breakfast has been pretty good there as well.
And we are back to a character breakfast now, I believe, at Cape May. So one of the character breakfasts on property, and so you'll get to, I believe it's Minnie Mouse and some other pals that'll be able to walk around and see you during breakfast there. We've not experienced that breakfast at Cape May, but we did have breakfast there back during the pandemic before it had gone away. And that was during that period of time, Cape May was a steal of a deal. It was like $25
like
for breakfast. It was like amazing price for like an all you can eat breakfast or something like that. So, but definitely a seafood restaurant. So you don't want to be going there if you're more of a steak and eggs kind of guy, or
that's a good thing because Yachtsman Steakhouse is literally connected. So
there you go.
We got you covered by land, by sea.
Yeah, Yachtsman Steakhouse, another good one. I feel like in a lot of these conversations that we have about resort overviews, we talk a lot about food, and Yachtsman is another one to mention.
Well, yeah, and I think it's also important when you talk about the beach club is that maybe folks aren't aware is that the beach club didn't open up with beach club villas. Mm-hmm. So if there's any kind of complaint that I hear is that it definitely has the feeling that it was an afterthought. It was, hey, the beach club opened. It's super popular. DVC was taken off in a huge way. Hey, Boardwalk was here. Hey, what would be great? Let's find a way to put some villas over at the beach club. Yeah. So that's where it comes to the rooms. If I have a complaint about the rooms, because again, in essence, every DVC room is the same inside. It's just your decorating is going to be different. Your theming is different. But here, there's no view. Right. So there's no view. Your view is literally going to be of a pathway of people walking in front of you, some bushes, maybe behind some of the Epcot attractions over there. Yeah. So it's not necessarily for me one of those, hey, I'm just going to go get a beer, get a glass of wine or a cup of coffee and sit out on my balcony type of resorts. But to me, I'm willing to offset my beloved balconies versus being able to be at Epcot within less than like a 5-minute walk.
It's kind of the golden rule of real estate, really. Location, location, location. And that's what really Beach Club and Boardwalk both have going for them, is that they are that quick walk to Epcot, quick Skyliner, or walk over to Hollywood Studios.
Or boat.
You have so many, that's really, I think, when we were looking at some DVC properties early on, it's like, what are those things that connect all of those things, that make our transportation to and from different places simpler? And this is one of those resorts that checks those boxes, let alone it also has an amazing pool. It also has some amazing dining establishments, stuff like that. I agree with what you said, Derek, about sort of, it does seem a little bit disconnected. It's a slightly different color. It's like a greenish blue, and the main villa is blue.
And it's actually like sits over that waterway.
Yes.
Like, I always think that's wild. Like they just like fit it exactly where it could. And honestly, and on some ways you're right, you're just looking at like the woods, and then some sides you're looking at like the pool. But there are a few rooms that are like, look like they're practically hanging over the parking lot, like clear on that far end. So I don't know that I would like a room over that way. But we've always had decent
views. I don't believe that Beach Club has any room view types. No. It is just a standard view no matter what. And that's because there's just none of them are
and it is a
amazing.
Hodgepodge of balconies. Like the balconies are they're so different sizes and shapes and stuff.
If you had hodgepodge on your word of the day list today. But no, we've had sort of a smaller, almost Juliet style balcony one time. We've had like a weird triangle.
The Juliet balconies are just at the hotel side. Yeah. But it was small.
Like a triangular. It was like a small triangular balcony. It was very odd also because it felt like, so we were in a studio, but it felt like below us was like a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom or something like that. And so our bedroom, our balcony was here, but we could see the extent of the balcony below us. So it was like I was above them. It was like, how you guys doing? What's happening down there? Like,
I've got balcony envy.
Yeah.
You're talking about that spot where you're looking at the pool, and you look down, and like there's even a balcony space that doesn't belong to anybody. Like, it's like a triangle that isn't open, and it's like, why did they just let that be someone's?
It's like a fenced off penalty box. So it's like, we're sorry, your room's not ready. Stand here.
That's what you're going to get when you do a resort as an afterthought. You know what I mean? But again, I wouldn't trade it for the world because again, and that's what I love about what we get to do at the DVC resale market is just to be able to talk to folks. And I think I have the conversation almost multiple times a day, which I love because again, when folks reach out to us, you don't just reach out to us, hey, I'm ready to buy. Are you welcome to do that? Of course you are. But if you have questions, reach out to us. And a big question that I always get is, Derek, we love the Crescent Lake area. Which one is more important for me to buy? Boardwalk or Beach Club? And then I'm like, well, so the question you're asking is basically which one is easier to get into at 7 months out? And that answer strictly on size alone is the Boardwalk. Mm-hmm. The Boardwalk just has way more rooms. They've got way more room choices. They've got, everything under the sun all the way up to grand villas. They've got standard. They've got pool view. They've got boardwalk view. They've got everything. But the Beach Club is way smaller. So if you're someone that loves that area, but you maybe like the Beach Club a little bit more, 1,000% by the Beach Club. They both expire in 2042. So it can't come down to this one has 10 more years or this one has 15 more years. If part of you loves the Beach Club a little bit more because you stayed there once, buy the Beach Club. You're going to have better odds of getting into the boardwalk at 7 months out than you are ever getting into the Beach Club. Because again, what happens? People use their membership, they somehow luck out, they get into the Beach Club, and then they become Beach Club junkies.
I don't want to put you on the spot too much. What's Beach Club going for right around now?
I knew you were not going to ask me that.
I will segue while you look into that.
Well,
the other
I
thing,
can say. Oh,
go ahead, yeah.
I'm disappointed we haven't mentioned. You can't have a spotlight on Beach Club without mentioning beaches and
I
cream.
knew that was.
Oh, good. I'm so good.
Like, why
I knew
would you
Amy was
say
on
that?
there.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I'll let you talk about it, Amy.
No. Tell me because
I don't know too. I never get in. I try.
Oh, okay. We've eaten there before.
It's hard to get in.
Beaches and Cream is very popular. We like it. It's not like on our top list, but it's diner food. And then there's like some really interesting ice cream type concoctions, milkshakes. Those fancy milkshakes with like the brownie or the cake on top. But I will say the French dip is actually very good. So it's very popular. If you want to eat there, you definitely have to try to make a reservation there early, or you just have to hope that something pops up, or you can use a great dining finder like at Unlock Magic. But Beaches and Cream is well. Like the other thing about Beach Club is just that you can walk to so many good restaurants.
Yeah.
You can walk over, like Derek said, Yachtsman is right over there. I really like Ale and Compass. I know it's not like a huge hit for a lot of people, but I've always had really good food there. And then you just walk right over to the Swan and Dolphin, and you've got Il Molino, you've got Shula's, you've got Kimonos, and some other good places over there. Over the boardwalk, you've got Flying Fish, Trattoria. So there's all those places you can walk within, and then you could just get on the Skyliner and go over to Riviera, go to Topolino's.
It's amazing what it leads to everywhere.
It's so easy from that area where Beach Club is located just to get to so many other places without having to take a bus, which I always try to avoid the buses at all costs. So I love, walking, Skyliner, boat transportation, those sorts of things.
Over at Rental Store, we see high demand for guests looking to stay at Beach Club. And unfortunately, I think it goes back to the size of the resort. It's very hard for all of these reasons, it becomes very hard to sort of fulfill those reservations. It is one of our premium properties, if not the most premium, because it is the most requested from a guest standpoint. We always sort of have guest requests sitting, just waiting for member points because it's that popular. And as much as people love it, we normally have to reach out to a lot of those guests and sort of say, I know you want to stay here, but availability is so tight and it's always very difficult, even for members. Let's come up with some backup plans. I think the size is really one of the downfall. Honestly, I think they could expand Beach Club tomorrow and it would sell a huge amount. I know, Amy, you've talked before about wanting to see like Yacht Club get a DVC of its own, and I think that would sell and just be as sweet as Beach Club is.
You can build something over water, you can build something over Yacht Club.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's going to share a lot of these same benefits that we've talked about already. Yacht Club, people staying at the Yacht Club have access to Stormalong Bay, all of these amazing dining, so close to Epcot and all of that kind of stuff. So,
and you beat me to it because you have a fancy laptop and I just have my phone here.
But we want the information from you, Derek.
I would.
They're tired of hearing from me.
Here we go. Yeah. So obviously, because of, again, size, the average price for Beach Club on the DVC resale market in January was about $156 per point. That average price, again, that takes into account everything from, say, a 25-point listing all the way up to a 400-point listing. And then for Boardwalk, comes out to be about $131. Right. So again, what are you paying for is simply, supply and demand. There's just Beach Club is much, much smaller. So it's much more sought after. So that price per point is just going to be so much more.
Yep. And that's come down a ways, I think, from like last summer and stuff like that. I think back in April of 22, it was up to like 181 per point. Again, Beach Club is one of those resorts where I think a lot of people do just add on like a 25, 50 point, 75 point contract just to get into that.
Small
so
points.
A lot of those smaller point contracts are going to be higher than that, but definitely affordable add-on for someone, especially being a 2042 resort, like for getting all of those amenities, for getting that location. I keep coming back to that. It's really the location of Beach Club that gets you.
Which is funny because once you stay at the Beach Club, And if you go to Epcot and you're just having a day at Epcot, and we live local, so a lot of times we have to drive home at the end of the day, it's impossible to cross over that bridge from the UK to France and not look and go, oh my God, I just want to be staying at the beach club so bad. Like I just want to make that right-hand turn and just wind up back at the beach. That's what just makes it so
I got to go sit on I-4 and all this kind of stuff. But
I'll go sleep on that big empty balcony that you guys found. It's not being used.
The balcony penalty box.
Yeah.
So yeah, Beach Club Resort. We all love it. There's very little to sort of, I think, negatively say about the resort, except it's maybe too small, and also Cape May is a little smelly. But if you can get past those things, really an amazing property. I think if it made sense for us, we'd probably add on it at Beach Club as well, even though we own Boardwalk already. But I definitely know there are a lot of Beach Club fans out there. So please, if you love Beach Club, share your thoughts with us in the comments. If you loved this video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also join in the conversation over at dvcfan.com and on the DVC Fan Facebook group. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of the DVC Show. And as always, we will see you next week.